conversation. Be sure to reach out to the boys on Twitter at the Recipe Boys, boys being spelled B-O-Y-Z, and check this episode's description for more information. Now pour yourself a drink, and cheers to you for listening.
Holy shit, we're rolling.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Recipe Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Max.
I'm one of your hosts, Lex.
I'm one of your hosts, Taylor.
And today is the 11th episode. We didn't really celebrate the 10th, but it's okay.
We did it in our hearts.
Yeah, through text message mostly.
We did it after the podcast was recording.
After the pod.
But today is a special episode because this is our first episode with a guest.
Yes.
So
Who is it?
Who is it?
Tell me.
I pulled him off.
You have to tell me.
No, I pulled him off the street.
Oh, cool.
okay.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah. No, it's one of my good buddies, Andrew Hendricks, and I wanted to invite him on the podcast. And because of today, we're doing Old Fashions as well, because that's one of Andrew's favorite drinks. And so, Andrew, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is super exciting.
We've been waiting to do Old Fashions just for you. Wait, no. What are you doing?
Oh,
We
no.
gotta cheers first.
Oh, shit.
So,
Breaking the first rule. We have a lot of first rules.
the only rule is there's no rules.
Yeah.
Right.
No
Except for that
laws.
rule that I brought.
Yeah, so we are drinking Old Fashions. Andrew actually made them for us, which is pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, guest bartender and host.
He knows how to make a good drink, believe
Yeah,
me.
there's a tip jar.
Yeah.
His Patreon is... Do you want to tell us what's in it, actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is, I use a cane sugar cube, put 3 drops of bitters on it, and I put 1.5 ounces of rye in there, Rittenhouse rye, orange peel, cherry, and a big cube of ice.
But not just any cherry.
No, not just any cherry, no.
Fancy cherries.
The fancy cherries, yes.
How's it pronounced, Lex?
I was actually wrong last time I corrected you. It's maraschino.
Maraschino?
Oh, yeah, it is. But the luxardos?
Yeah, the Luxardo's
Yeah.
said.
But,
I thought we were
Congratulations to you. Normally we look and read the recipe live off a piece of paper. You just did that free balling.
Oh, yeah.
That was awesome.
I've made some of them before.
Yeah.
I've made them frequently.
What kind of bitters do you use?
Angostura.
Okay.
Great. So
It's a real simple recipe.
let's try it. For anyone who
Yeah.
hasn't had an old fashioned
Yeah.
before.
Cheers.
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 I actually remember having my first Old Fashioned in New York City with Lex.
Do you remember where?
I do, but I don't remember I know
That warms
where the
the
bar
soul.
is. I know where the bar is.
It's called Belfry. They do $5 picklebacks on Fridays.
I've had a lot of Old Fashions, but man, this is a real good one. A real good one.
Yeah.
I've never had a rye old fashioned. Sorry, go ahead.
I used to try so many different things with them, and I had a recommendation earlier this year to try it with Rittenhouse, and I just think it's the best now.
Yeah.
You're the one. We had the mint julep not too long ago, and you told me why it didn't taste good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to find a real specific bourbon to use in there. Some of them are like, they have too much character, so you put that with the mint simple syrup and just no.
Conflicting flavors.
Oh.
I thought the ones we had were actually really good.
They were good.
I was on the air saying this is the best mint julep I'd ever had because I
And
typically
I
made it
don't
with.
like mint julep, so maybe it's just that like a good mint julep is not the mint julep for me.
So you didn't enjoy it when you had it?
No, I love that one.
I did.
which
did
was apparently
make the
not
mint,
incorrect.
The mint simple syrup myself,
Yeah.
so it must have been it.
And we used good
That
mint.
was,
that's
that was
smart.
We didn't use spearmint. We used the sweet mint.
Put gum in it. Yeah.
When you make that stuff yourself, you can tell, and that's part of what makes it good.
yeah.
I do have some interesting, like, this is a really quick thing. Some liquor news because we're going to do it when we go back to my place.
Oh, look at her. I barely know her.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I finally cracked the recipe for Underdog's Cuba Libre re-release.
Okay.
So I've sourced the rum. I've sourced the Italian digestif that's in it. I know what tinctures and lime oils and stuff they use. And they use a homemade cola syrup that I cannot track down. So what I did is I made 3 different types of cola syrup at my house. It's actually really easy to do. And I really encourage anyone who's listening to this podcast to look up some recipes and make cola syrup. You do not need to find cola nut. It really doesn't make a difference. There's so many other great things in there, like zest of citrus fruits and cinnamon and nutmeg and anise seed. But
I gotta say, I really admire your dedication for that. That's above and beyond.
the next episode I host, we're definitely doing Cuba Libres.
Excellent.
and it's gonna be sick. Like
Dude, that sounds
they finally
amazing.
chilled. They taste amazing. So yeah.
Have you had it with what is it, the Benedictine, the one that's really hard to find?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Had an old
We're
fashioned.
talking about
Benedictine?
this is a Vieux Carré.
I was gonna say, because you sound so dedicated to that, maybe this should be one of your next ones. Trying
And then
to make
interesting.
this.
What drink is this? I'm sorry.
The Vieux Carré, which
Okay.
is like a, it's like a Negroni, right? No, what am I thinking?
I mean, it's pretty. It's kind of. It's sort of like I don't know, like a Manhattan or something.
Yeah.
But just a little more done up. It's like a New Orleans version.
Right.
What makes it so complicated, so complex?
I think it's the Benedictine that's like super hard to locate.
Well, this Afrohead rum for their it's Afrohead 7-year. I forget what country it's from, believe it or not, but I have a certain liquor store trying to track it down. It's very rare. It's really hard to find. But what I'm going to do is when I get it, I'm going to make it the same exact recipe with multiple rums and see if any rum that's more contemporary that I collect.
Right.
Because I don't want to go making drinks for people with a rum that I can never find.
On the topic of things like that, you know, Benedictine, I feel like is something you find in old people's bars because they used to be more common. But
Yes, exactly.
so my favorite thing actually, I don't know, did you end up buying the Cochi Americano?
They didn't have it.
Okay, see, there you go.
I'm
So-
going to get that for you.
Yeah. So one of my favorite, I'm a big martini guy, and the one of the best out there is the Vesper. So the Vesper basically was another one that kind of fell off the face of the earth because
Kina Lillet.
Kina Lillet, thank you. Yeah, Kina Lillet was stopped being produced by Lillet. They kept making Lillet Blanc, but everyone basically was like the bartenders are like, it's not quite the same. It's a little more bitter. It's a little different.
And now they
So-
do it with Cochi Americano.
So Cochi Americano now is like the stand-in, and I use it in cocktails all of the time.
Yeah,
including one
new
that-
one. Yeah.
You
that
had
I'm
that at the
obsessed
rugby
with.
club, and it was quite delicious.
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
So we might cut this out.
Yeah.
We might just jump to it.
Yeah.
Want to introduce yourself? Tell us about you. We want to know who you are. He just grabbed you off the street.
Yeah, I know. You guys, it's kind of funny because me and Andrew kind of met through film, sort of.
Yeah.
I just directly kind of just slid into his DMs one day on Instagram. I was like, you want to grab a cup of coffee? You look pretty cool. You do a lot of cool stuff. Talk about movies and shit. And he's like, yeah, sure.
I think it came about too because we're both Red owners.
It's true. Yeah,
I think I liked one of your pictures on the gram because I was like, that's a nice looking red.
Yeah. Instead of buying cars, we bought cameras.
I didn't know sliding in DMs worked till just now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about yourself, Andrew.
Okay, so my name is Andrew. I am a director and cinematographer, and I do lots of music videos. I used to do a lot of doc style work, and I still do a little bit of that.
You're doing a documentary right now on wine, of all things.
Oh, what is he plugging on the show?
Nothing. You can plug whatever you want.
It gives importance to what we're doing if you plug something.
I am about to drop 2 music videos with an artist named Broseph Kiddo.
Ooh.
Sounds like a Hobo Johnson,
Yeah.
Juice World kind of thing.
Yeah,
Am I right?
You get ready. No, but I mean,
What kind of music is it?
he's a rapper. He's the dude who did sound on the Irishman. Not the lead sound guy, but he worked on that. He worked on Gemini Man also.
The Irishman that hasn't come out yet.
The Irishman that hasn't come out yet.
So was there a lot of strippers and asses and thongs during the filming of this? Or is this one of the thoughtful ones?
He wouldn't have been on set, so and there's probably not many of that in the post facility.
What do you mean he wouldn't have been on set?
He's like the post sound guy.
No, I'm saying in his music videos that you just made.
Oh, in the videos, no.
Really?
It sounds like,
I will
a
say
little
that-
bias that you got there.
No.
Yeah.
Let's just call it ignorance. I really am very selective about my hip hop and rap.
So I've seen an early cut of this particular music video, and I will say the visual effects are stunning.
That's great.
They look
I'm
amazing.
excited to see it.
If I can
Oh.
brag on Andrew, he built an entire diorama in his living room to film.
No. Actually, the artist did.
Oh, he built it. He brought it
He
to your
built
house.
it.
You had it. Your wife had to deal with it for how long?
It's still there.
Yeah.
It got there right after Easter, and it's still on the table. And I just filmed some more with it this past week. And actually, the video is up now.
Oh, nice. We'll have to watch it later. Yeah,
Check
that's
our
awesome.
Instagram. We're going to be posting his
And
video.
something cool, me and Andrew actually, like I couldn't have pulled it off without you, is we shot a video for AJR, which is a really, really popular band with like 15-year-olds,
Oh, I know
teenagers.
that. I know that.
I know
Yeah.
that. I like
AJ.
I'm Weak.
I'm weak.
Yeah, it's a really great
Yeah,
song.
so
That's a good song. Yeah.
they called me and Andrew and they wanted us to print out their album art at 10 by 10.
No, that was all you. You were the mastermind behind that.
We both worked on it.
We both worked on it, but yeah,
But
you put that all together. You produced the crap out of that.
We printed out their album artwork 10 by 10 and paid off a fire marshal in New Jersey to burn it in somebody's backyard.
There's always something on fire in New Jersey anyway.
Yeah. Just another day. But yeah, so
Which, you know what else I should plug is Red Wing Boots, because while we were out there filming that, it was snowing and there was just like ice. And I didn't know this
with
dude.
wind and snow, it's really hard to burn stuff.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
I didn't know this dude had a pond in his yard. And
Oh, yeah,
so,
you stepped into the pond.
Yeah, I'm like carrying a camera and a tripod over my shoulder, like in my coat in the snow. And
Mind you, like a $30,000 camera.
and I'm just like standing there, and the dude from AJR, Jack, he looks at me. He's like, "Holy shit, dude, are you okay?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I looked down and I stepped through the ice through the pond, but my boots were so hardcore that I had
He
no
has
clue.
one of those like koi ponds in the backyard.
Wow.
It's not used in the winter apparently.
No.
Just covered up in snow.
So yeah, I mean, it was full of water and it was frozen, but yeah, no water in the shoe somehow. So impressive. My pants were soaked though.
So you heard it here. Red Wing's shoes will not be on our Instagram, but his video will.
Yes.
It almost sounded like they were made up like Red Apple cigarettes or something like that.
You
Like, oh,
heard
wow.
it. There's Red Wing in Massapequa.
Do you have stake in this company, Andrew? Is this why we're talking about it? No.
No, I just really like it.
We talk about it, the stock goes down, so maybe he's shorting it.
Yeah.
The stock does nothing. No one's listening.
No. But Andrew does pretty awesome work. I'm always impressed and jealous. But
First friend of the pod.
yeah.
First friend of the pod, welcome.
Well, we're gonna do a sick one soon too, because now that I'm done with all these VFX,
Are you saying you're doing a sick music video
we should do a sick music video.
of us?
Why, you want to do a pod on set of a music video?
It's a very
Really thoughtful.
Inception-y.
No, yeah, it's like now that I'm finishing this one, like I honestly really like to make videos that you could like go from start to finish in like a week.
Oh, cool. Run and gun.
That's the dream. I love to make stuff like that. It's just like when someone gives me a challenge to do some VFX, I'm gonna VFX it, and I'm gonna.
It's like you've been working on the wine thing for a while now, right?
I have. That's a little different because that's like 6 episodes of a web series, and they're gonna be like 10 minutes long each. So trailers dropping for that any day.
We're plugging the fuck out of you. Don't worry
Yeah.
about
The whole list of things.
it. So what do we bring him here to talk about?
Today.
Old fashions.
Well, yeah,
Old
first we're
fashions.
starting with old fashioned. What I do like about the old fashioned is it's kind of a simple cocktail. There's not really much going on. It's just sugar, some bitters, whiskey, and orange peel. And if you look at the history of the old fashioned, it was made a long time ago.
How long?
We're talking like 1862
Oh,
was the claimed inception,
I heard it was even before that,
right?
because I heard that this thing is arguably the first cocktail.
Ooh.
Probably because of how simple it is, because
Yeah.
it's just sugar, bitters, and some whiskey. I believe, yeah, you forwarded me an article that was kind of cool because they talked about how you used to be able to just go to a bar and they would just give you a glass and a sugar cube and they would just give you the bottle of whiskey.
That's the dream right there.
That's the dream.
they still do that in Mexico for palomas.
They do not do that in New York.
no.
In Mexico, you can get a paloma.
At least no bars that I'm invited to.
In Mexico, you can get a paloma, and they put the literal bottle of tequila on the table, either fresh squeezed lime juice or some limes. They put grapefruit soda.
What did you have that we were in Florida where they gave you the little bottle you get to pour your own drink?
Oh, the milk punch.
That was cool.
That's gonna be another episode as well. Have you ever had milk punch?
I don't know where. I've had it somewhere.
It's
an
It's a
experience.
rum tea.
I don't remember. Somebody in the city does that, and I had it one place, and it was dope.
Yeah, a place in Dumbo does it too. Either way, So tell me about the.
But no, yeah. So the history goes on. Like apparently, it could be an earlier start date, but in 1862, a book titled Jerry Thomas' Bartender's Guide contains the recipe for the old fashioned, but it's from 1862. So there's a recipe right there. Let's start somewhere, right?
Yeah, and I like that's why they call it an old fashioned, because it's so fucking old that they're like,
yeah, it's literally
like
what
an
it
old
is.
fashioned cocktail. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay.
In 1880, a story in Louisville, Kentucky, a 2005 article in the Courier Journal gave credit to a social club called the Pendennis Club for making the first old fashioned. That was in 1880, so 18 years later. And then there's another thing in 1880 with when Samuel Tilden pulled himself from the presidential run.
Good old Sammy Till.
Yeah, and they celebrated with old fashions around New York and stuff.
It's almost its own genre.
Yeah.
Like an old-fashioned fucking
1895.
margarita.
Well, you know
it's
what?
in the
Actually,
book.
I think like if you look at like a classic book, they say that there are 6 types of cocktails, and an old fashioned is one of them.
Like a smash is a type of cocktail.
Yeah.
Like a highball type of cocktail.
Yeah,
But
you'd
that's
have like
in-
a highball, you'd have like a punch. Probably.
Blacktail does that, yeah.
Yeah, Blacktail
I was going to
says
say
an old-fashioned.
Blacktail probably.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Let's go to Blacktail right now.
We
Why
should.
don't we just leave? What are
I
we
went to
doing here?
Blacktail about a month ago for my birthday. They hooked it up so hard because I think I had like 10 cocktails and there were 4 of us, and our bill was like $250 at the
Yeah,
end.
you got off easy.
Yeah, and dude, I don't remember the ride home. My wife just told us that we got like $100 upcharge on the Uber because I just barfed the entire way.
Wow. Okay.
So
Nice.
they made their money after all. No.
You were just borrowing. The
I
alcohol.
remember going to the bathroom and being like, "Holy shit, this
Well,
was dope."
We discovered that if you throw up, it doesn't make you any more sober. So
Yeah.
just keep it in.
No, no, it sucked because they were such good cocktails.
Yeah.
But another fun fact, in January 1st, 1936, the New York Times writer known as the Old Timer reflects on the old fashioned and writes about it. It's really neat what he says, and it's about pouring your own drink kind of thing.
we going to call that a fun fact?
Yeah.
Is that fun?
Is having old fashions not fun with
It's not
for
like
you?
McDonald's ball pit fun.
Yeah, it's they're kind of fun, I guess.
Part of me wonders too if the way that the cocktail came about in the first place was kind of like, I don't know if you've heard the stories about Rock and Rye, like the Mr. Katz's kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I bought Taylor a bottle of that.
It's good stuff, yeah.
But I heard that the way that came about was that like the rye in the, I guess, late 1800s, early 1900s was just so ridiculously awful and like undrinkable that they had to add the sugar to it in order to like get people to be able to drink it.
Make it palatable.
Exactly. So yeah, it's like, who knows? Maybe this was like, they could have tried to market this as medicine or something at some point.
It's
Well,
all
you
medicine, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember that, bitters by itself was meant as a medicine for a really long time, which is, we started using it as an additive to cocktails because it was medicine first. And we were like, actually, this stuff's pretty good.
So then let me ask you, Andrew.
Yes.
Since you're a cocktail aficionado, you like old fashions.
And Blacktail.
Oh, I love Blacktail.
Let's plug Blacktail.
We talk about it.
We talk about it
We talk
enough.
about it very
Have
often.
you been to Blacktail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
things-
good. Thank God.
What was that?
No. I didn't want to interrupt him, but
Oh,
yeah,
no, yeah,
you've
yeah.
been there many
My
times.
brother's been there.
We've all been there many a time. Like that's our. We used to work. We all 3 of us used to work right down the street from there, so we would make the jaunt very regularly.
It's the dream.
Yeah. So the question I had for you is, what are your thoughts on this new cocktail wave of kind of bastardizing the old fashioned, where it's full of sugar syrups and grenadine and the people put a full orange wedge and they muddle the orange into the old fashioned. You go to a wedding and you get an old fashioned and it's an orange wedge, a fucking sickly red cherry, lipstick red cherry, and like fucking Jack Daniels if you're lucky.
Well, I mean, I do think that on one hand, you should be able to do whatever you want. On the other hand, I'm just not going to order that. I'm just going to get whiskey straight.
Yeah, you may as well at that point.
But yeah, so I mean, like, it sucks. But I mean, I also added a little tiny spoonful of the cherry syrup in here. So
From the Luxardo fancy cherries.
yes, from the fancy cherries, just because that's kind of how I prefer it, with that like extra tiny bit of the cherry sweetness.
You know,
but-
it wasn't overly sweet, which, to your point, I think way too many old fashions. Even when you go to like a reasonable bar, they'll just sweet the hell out of it.
Yeah, they put the orange wedge in. It drives me nuts. I originally thought that's how it was made because that's how often it was served to me.
Exactly. Yeah. They just do like the old fashioned mix or whatever. And they just like, I think that's how I had it the first time I ever had it. They just got out the big bottle of the mix, poured it in the cup, and then put a shot of, I don't know, Jack or something in there. And there you go.
Yep.
Well, I mean, bars, especially in high tourist volume areas, like they need to make their drinks quickly and also make them generally taste good to people who don't have a palate for it.
Right.
Look at the tiki bar we went to. Every drink was just super sweet.
Yeah.
In Florida, the bar was great, but like every drink was just like super sweet. You know, it's that the typical tourist is going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's like, I would imagine most people don't give a shit. Like they don't care like I care or like you guys care. And so if that's the place of it, or if that's the thing, it's like I just kind of try to get a feel for it and decide if I just need to order something neat.
Yeah, but I will say I don't think there's anything wrong with experimentation.
No.
No.
You know-
Reinvention is evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
for sure,
buzzwords
for
in that
sure.
sentence? Yeah.
That's really. It sounds really good though.
I know.
Hey, you could put that on a T-shirt.
It's almost as if I'm a writer for a living.
One of my friends made a gin old fashioned like a week or two ago, and it was great.
I love a good. Let me after the pod. I'm gonna make you a rum old fashioned.
Okay, let's do it.
But there's some mezcal old fashions that are quite respectable with some chocolate bitters or mole bitters that are quite respectable. Ooh. You know, and like they do lime zest instead of a wedge. It's, you know, really respectable.
Hell yeah.
Max is very fortunate because I do remember very vividly. We were having a bad day when we went to Belfry for your first old fashioned.
We had just kind of become friends too.
It was we had become friends at work either a week or 2 weeks prior to that. We started on the same day at the same job.
We were skinnier, stuff like that.
Yeah, we were quite a bit skinnier.
Younger, wide-eyed.
I couldn't even say the word gym, let alone go to one. And Max didn't have a girlfriend, so he didn't have any of that girlfriend comfortable weight.
Look, she cooks, man, and you guys know.
And we had
We had a great dinner. But no, we went to Belfry, and they don't.
Where is Belfry?
Belfry is. I'm gonna say it's the Lower East Side.
It's not far from Union Square, right?
It's not. And Belfry's a kind of small place. I don't know why we went there. I think we were gonna meet somebody there, and they ended up bailing after we got there. But I do remember very distinctly when we ordered the old fashioned, just like here at this bar, there were oranges in a bowl on a table. The guy took out a razor blade and skimmed the orange and squeezed and expressed the oils. You saw a sugar cube happening. You saw bitters. You saw him measure his pour. Like he made you an old fashioned to spec. And I remember Max was like, I'm more of a beer guy. I don't think I like this.
Well, that's before I really got into, it took me a while to develop a taste for whiskey for sure. Like Mr. Cat's Rock and Rye really helped me out a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I think I started drinking old fashions because I wanted to drink more whiskey, period. Because I think the first show I ever watched was Mad Men.
Oh man, and the way he makes that old fashioned in that one scene,
dude.
it's so cool.
I never really
Do you
watched.
replay it? Rewind it back?
I watch it. He jumps over the bar, does a whole thing. It's so cool.
You're serious?
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good to watch it.
Yeah, and I never really watched TV shows before that, and so that was like my first one. And I was cutting a movie, and I would just watch that while I was cutting, and I would drink maybe beer or tequila at that point, and I just remember being like, man, this show just makes brown liquor look so cool. I just want to drink whiskey.
Well, I will say
Don Draper just couldn't make anything
man.
look cool, but
I think
definitely did
absolutely.
it for
I think I
liquor.
went out and bought a bottle of Crown, and then I was like, oh, I don't know if I have a palate for this. And then I started making an old fashioned because at least it was a little sweet. And then, let's see, I think after I did that and finished the Crown, then I got a bottle of Bullet, and that was it.
That's it.
well,
That was my gateway.
your next episode that you come on, because you're coming back.
Yeah.
We love talking to you already. I can already tell. You got to talk. We should talk about drinks in popular culture, like movies that have made certain drinks synonymous with that movie. Like the first one I'm saying, the easy one that we're going to talk about is obviously the White Russian in The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah.
But we should do a whole talk on that.
Dude, yeah, for sure.
Vesper, all those drinks.
Oh yeah, there's so many. There's so
Vesper,
many good.
right.
We should make the weird ass one from Zodiac because I've actually like Googled how to make that one.
Which
the
one?
Aqua Velva.
Oh yeah,
Remember
yeah,
they, like,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
drinking
Then
that blue drink?
He's like, oh, I don't really drink, and they have like 15 of them.
Ooh,
at the
is
beginning of the
Zodiac?
movie.
Is that our transition?
I fucking love that movie.
Is that a transition to our
Zodiac
topic?
is my
Yeah.
favorite movie.
Or do we wanna
of
make a
this
drink?
Millennium, so that's probably
It's really great.
Zodiac
I
is
love that
so good.
movie.
It's a perfect
it's-
movie.
it's
David
really, really-
Fincher is
Jaws is a perfect movie.
Perfect.
Do you
But
guys
that's okay.
want to move into a second drink?
I would love to.
Love to.
Why don't you segue us?
And welcome back. No,
That
yeah.
reminds me, what's the actor? Welcome back. That is correct.
yeah.
Chris Farley.
sounds
Farley,
like,
yeah. That is correct. Oh man, that's such a classic. Okay, so for our film section tonight, we wanted to talk about a movie. Well, actually, we didn't want to talk about the movie specifically. We didn't want to talk about the Joker. We wanted to talk about everyone freaking out about the Joker. And we all talked about it before the pod and listed some movies that, you know, kind of freak people out. And we just had a really great discussion. Hopefully we can recreate it about why movies freak people out and what is it about movies that are so good at that. And we have a couple of examples, but why don't you guys
I'm freaking out, man.
freak out?
Yeah. Well, first off,
I'm freaking out.
cheers to our second old fashioned of the night.
Right.
Yeah, cheers.
And thanks for
Fellas.
having
The
me,
drink's
guys.
so nice. We
Oh,
made
thank
it
you, Andrew. You've been a
a delight.
delight to have. I'm glad you met my two best friends in the city.
The drink's so nice. We made it twice.
Yeah. Well, if it's Manhattan, that would have been really good.
So yeah, I was personally kind of thinking, like, you know, I haven't seen the Joker yet, but Max mentioned it to me today, and
Don't give it money.
mentioned- Okay.
Oh,
He mentioned just kind of, I think, generally panic and unnerving movies. And it made me think about movies that made me uncomfortable the first time I saw them and why that happened. And so, you know, there's some movies, like a movie like Saw or something, that, you know, it's unnerving because it's grotesque. But that wasn't initially what I kind of thought about when he mentioned that, because that almost seems too easy to make an unsettling movie.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought about, I think, was either, you know, like a movie like United 93, which he mentioned, where it is just kind of like an uncomfortable watch the first time you see it because you know what's going to happen, but still a part of you is kind of like rooting for that to not be what happens,
Yeah.
even though you know the ending. Or even a movie.
what happens in the end?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
don't,
cut that out.
Oh man.
like, for people that don't know, United 93 is based on 9/11.
Yeah. Or the other thing, which I was guessing is more like what Joker is like, is where you have a character who is so fascinating to watch, like such a good performance from an actor, especially just knowing Joaquin Phoenix, but kind of their intentions and their goals are a little more nebulous. Like a movie like, for me, Phantom Thread, where I'm like watching that movie and it's like two people where I don't know what either one of them wants, but they're so fascinating to watch that I can't stop watching.
So let me just say this. I have not seen Phantom Thread, but I'm assuming it's very similar to There Will Be Blood in the sense that you have a character whose actions are indecipherable, but yet completely make sense because of a great performance, right? I will say that Joker is none of those things.
Well, we're not supposed to talk about Joker.
Yeah, but he's talking about
we
Joaquin.
didn't see Joker.
Yeah, but
Don't
he's
talk
talking
about it.
he's talking about Joaquin Phoenix here. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say like I would love to talk about movies where they're challenging because of their exploration of the depravity and the depths of human experience. I'm all about that. Joker's not that.
We're not reviewing the Joker.
I know that, but
Well,
I just want to
maybe-
preface it.
Maybe a better example, because PTA is PTA and it's hard to compare anybody to him, but maybe a better example would be something like Nightcrawler.
I love Nightcrawler. That's a very good example. I would even run up you something more people have probably seen is Natural Born Killers.
Yeah, actually,
where it puts you in the headspace.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It puts you in the headspace of like just using everything a director has at their disposal with color correction and even frame rate and editing and performance. they are able to make you feel like you have kind of slightly lost your mind.
So that's actually one of the things that the feedback that everyone's giving for Joker is basically this fear, or what they call moral panic, that people are freaking out, that people are going to watch this movie and it's going to cause them to do violent actions. And then, ironically, in that example that you just gave, Natural Born Killers, that actually did happen. There were copycat killers who followed that movie as kind of like a thing. And, so sometimes these kind of reactionary kind of things end up being somewhat accurate.
Well, I will tell you, the movie Joker made me want to kill somebody. Who's me?
Do you need to do like a mini-sode where we just like put you in a room with a mic and just like you just shit on
Honestly,
this movie?
we could have a podcast of me watching the Joker and it's just me going,
You know what's fucked up?
I saw the Joker and I really liked it.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's furniture day.
Yeah. It sounds like they're bowling upstairs. It's amazing.
God's bowling.
Have you seen the commercial, the fake commercial of the upstairs neighbors who like take pride in what they do? Have you seen it? No. It's fucking
Apparently
hilarious.
it's good.
Oh, dude.
I already like it.
It's so funny.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like,
We like to make them think that they don't know what's going on.
it's an art. We're performance artists.
But one of the interesting things is that, I obviously have to see the movie because I think that, like, since probably, like, I don't even know when this happened, maybe around 2003, it's like, I always considered Joaquin Phoenix one of the greatest living actors. Like, the dude is just amazing.
What movie gave you that?
I don't remember. That's what I'm trying to think about. I would have seen like Gladiator. I would have seen Signs. I remember thinking he was amazing in The Village, even though I didn't like The Village. I remember thinking he was incredible in Walk the Line.
Yeah.
And
Walk the Line.
That
is
was
great.
a big one. Yeah.
Walk the Line was the one where I was just like, I can't wait to see what this guy ends up doing because he seems like one of the most promising actors that I know of. And then the next thing I hear is that the dude like retired for a rap career.
Yeah.
But that was
that was
was never real.
That documentary that was like a stunt took him out of doing movies for so long that, like it kind of ate up a chunk of his prime. But then he comes back and does something like The Master and you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
that's my guy.
Yeah, but Walk the Line is probably if we're retrospective, Walk the Line is his prime. But either way, this is not here or there. Let's talk about some really hard hitting movies that are either fucked up or audiences had a very visceral reaction to or pop culture ran away with.
So what about ones that probably don't deserve it? Because the example that I thought of originally, which you and I both liked, was Dogma.
Yeah.
Because, obviously we're dyed in the wool Kevin Smith fans,
Yep.
despite his movies. And
He's endearing.
he's endearing. Yeah, he's a great guy. And one of my absolute favorite ones is obviously Dogma was great. It was it's kind of a weird movie. It's about Catholicism basically and angels and God and stuff. But there was huge protests for this.
He protested his own film.
And that's the thing. Yeah, that's one of the reasons
But
why
he
I
did
fell in
that
love
as a
with him.
joke.
Yeah,
I know,
'cause
but
he's
nobody
hysterical,
knew. Yeah.
because he's endearing.
Right. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. But that's definitely a movie that when you watch the movie, you're just like, well, it's kind of
Wait,
it's okay.
But before we get away, and this is not to talk about the Joker.
Yeah.
The reason why I think that it borders on this topic of like that radicalism is obviously the cinema shooting at The Dark Knight Rises. He won't admit that he was a Joker imitator, but there's been a lot of documentation that says that he was a fan. He was inspired by Heath Ledger's performance of the Joker.
Right.
In fact, that cinema chain did not release Joker.
I will say that when I saw the Joker at Alamo Drafthouse and they brought in security to do metal detection on everybody that walked through the doors.
Yeah.
Which I was like, cool. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, to
Whatever.
be honest, I'm like,
It's New York City, man. You never know.
I'm more terrified of
yeah,
a
for
theater
sure.
shooting than I am at a plane like hijacking because it's like,
Oh yeah.
It's
I've been creeped out ever since that shooting. I
Yeah.
remember seeing my first movie after that in I don't remember, maybe Sunshine before that closed, and just it's like I wanted to be near the exit in case I had to piece the fuck out.
me and a friend left The Founder, the Michael Keaton movie.
Yeah.
We left it because there was some guy in a big trench coat walking back and forth in that first row before you go up the stairs.
Yeah.
In a movie theater, you know, there's like the bowl level seats and then there's the stair seats. He kept walking back and forth and going to the bathroom and coming back. And I looked over. I said, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" And you know, my friend was like, "You want to get out of here?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" But I really liked the movie, so I never saw the end of it.
It'll always be perfect in your mind, though.
Yeah, I mean, I did end up watching it on DVD, and I'm like, "Oh, the last 20 minutes sucked." But it's like, I guess I evangelized the rest of the movie in my head because I was really enjoying it, except the trench coat guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, that's a perfect example of what the moral panic really is, which is this reactionary kind of thing where everyone's just like, but if we don't do something about it, this horrible thing could happen.
Yeah.
And that happens so often with movies where people are like, our kids are going to watch this. In fact, we were talking about one of those movies before, aptly named Kids, which basically when I was in middle school was like, if your kid watches this, he is going to do drugs and he is going to get AIDS and he's going to rape people and give them AIDS.
Gonna be
Do you promise?
a cool kid.
You
Yeah.
promise?
I don't. Well, I saw it and, you know.
You turned out
You have AIDS.
Yeah,
I
now.
like
okay.
that, I
Taylor's
guess.
got AIDS. Way to come out, Taylor.
Every episode we talk about AIDS. Why do we talk about AIDS so often?
Because you bring it up. You
'Cause
talk about how
probably-
don't tell us you have AIDS and then don't let us talk about it. We're going to talk about it. We're here to support you.
Probably one of those movies was Team America. That's why.
Yeah.
You have
Team
AIDS and you poop and pee on people? Wow. You have to see Team America to get that joke.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Definitely one of those movies would have been South Park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, because of the fact that it was geared. I think that like there was still that expectation it was geared towards children because people didn't quite realize what
Well,
South Park was. at
What
the
people
time.
think
And
the
it's like a
cartoons are for
cartoon.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, it was not prior to The Simpsons, which was not meant to be a show for kids. So, you know,
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, me and my brother wanting to see Spawn when it come out. And my mom
I want to
took us
rewatch
to
that
see
real
it.
bad Beachy Dubs.
Well, it come out in 1997, so I was only 7 years old at the time. And we're in the theater, and I remember my mom being like, "Let's go." I'm like, "Why? This movie's bad." And she just took us out of the movie.
yeah,
To be honest, Spawn's got some great and some terrible things in it. It's a perfect
Look,
amalgamation of
the-
great filmmaking and terrible filmmaking.
It looked like they rendered their CGI on a Nintendo 64.
They did.
I know, but like the movie's fine. I mean, it's like because growing up in the Bible Belt, any movie that deals with like the devil is the devil. So
Yeah.
you want to stay far, far away,
right.
and not let your children see that movie.
So like
another-
Constantine was out?
Any movie like my growing up was a lot more lenient after that. Like I saw whatever, but like I've met kids in my hometown that weren't allowed to see things like Harry Potter because it dealt with witchcraft, which I thought was crazy as shit.
Oh, fuck that.
Well, I mean, technically, it does deal with witchcraft.
I mean, no,
so.
you know what I mean, but it's like that's nuts. It's
Yeah,
freaking
yeah,
nuts.
yeah.
Like, and there's a couple of other movies that were off the wall that were just like because it deals with like Satan, like look, Little Nicky. Nobody would ever think that would upset parents, but Little Nicky upset parents.
Yeah.
It's because of the god awful basketball in the third act.
Which again, we talked about a lot. That's
We
a
did.
really great movie.
We did.
We have to watch that movie.
Dude, I
It's
saw
on
that
our list.
opening weekend in the theater,
Did
man.
you?
That's where
Holy
Adam
crap.
Sandler fell off the
How
rails.
did you get through the picket lines?
Oh man, no one gave a crap in
gave
my
a shit,
town.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, there were only like 4 people at the theater, and it was like me and 3 other 8th graders at the time, and we were
Wow.
just like, "Holy crap!" And then we
Yeah.
watched it, and we were just like,
I don't know if
"That
this
was
counts.
a weird Adam Sandler movie."
I don't know if this counts, but I remember like seeing like Jackass. My mom petitioning us not to see Jackass.
Is there any movies you guys have to walk past protesters to see?
No, I grew up in Long Island.
I
There's
grew
not
up in like
protesters.
BFE, so no.
Yeah.
There was one movie I went to go see, Grindhouse, Robert Rodriguez and Tarantino movie. I thought they were protesters. It was just Tarantino fans. They were just in a very big coffee clutch.
Yeah.
It seemed like a riot, but it was just people who were excited.
I mean, I'd say that most of the time movies don't get. I mean, there's like a lot of people bitching online, but the problem with movies is that they're spread out. Like, what are you going to protest like every multiplex?
Ooh,
Like, it's
I have a better one.
Don't
spread
tempt
out.
me.
I have a great story. It's not a protest, but this is like, adult censorship gone wild to children. I really wanted to see Clerks 2. Because again, Die in the Wool, Kevin Smith fan. I still admit it's probably his best work, like making his style very commercial.
Wrong.
Clerks 2. Yeah, well, whatever. We each have our own opinions. That's what makes life great. Yep. So I went to go see Clerks 2, and my friend, who was not allowed to see anything rated R at the time, told his mom he was going to see M. Night Shyamalan's Lady in the Water, starring Paul Giamatti, which no one saw, so that's clearly a lie. Clearly a lie. And we went to go see it, and we're all in a theater. There's like 12 of me and my friends. We're all in this theater, and in the middle of the film, when they're singing ABC by the Jackson 5, my friend's mother busts in.
Wow.
Yeah, into the she didn't even they didn't make her buy a ticket. She walked right past that 17-year-old usher.
She bring a
into the
ladder?
theater. No, she walked right in and she said, I don't get it. I don't get it, but so I'll get it when I listen later.
You can get into anywhere if you're carrying a ladder.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's a great joke.
Carrying a ladder?
That's a great joke. No, so she walks in. She walks in. The whole theater falls silent. No one's chuckling, and we just see this angry
Mom with a ladder.
angry mother, angry PTA president, going you, and she points at my friend and goes, "Out now."
Wow.
And
That
she
must have been terrifying.
dude, for me, it was hysterical.
Yeah.
And she was still holding the ladder?
No, he had to hold the ladder when
He had to carry it out?
He never knew how Clerks 2 ended, but I saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you don't know, you can get into anywhere as long as you're holding a ladder. Nobody ever fucks with a repair guy. They just let him in.
If you have a ladder and a gun, you could.
Then you're going to see Joker.
Yeah, you're going to see. Yeah, you're literally going to see Joker
for free.
Oh my god, that's the problem I have with it.
The Recipe Boys neither condoned nor endorse any bringing of guns anywhere.
Absolutely, never buy a gun.
Neither do the guests.
Neither did guess. Yes.
No,
Thank
no.
you.
But we do condone ladders. Ladders everywhere. 2020.
We have a ladder right here.
Ladder 2020.
We literally have a step ladder right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can get in a lot of places with that ladder.
People don't realize how much ladders are important to podcasts.
Let's take that to your neighbor's place and see if we can get in.
Yeah. Right.
I bet shut the fuck up. Stop walking around.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What about movies that are just kind of really disturbing? They just kind of fuck
Gotta
with
fuck you up.
Yeah, they make you think.
I got one. It's now
Is
it's
it
gone.
Hereditary?
No, it's not. Well, Heredity's up there.
Oh
but
my
I want
gosh,
to do
Hereditary is awesome.
the guy who directed Pie and Black
Requiem
Swan.
for a Dream.
Requiem for a Dream.
my
Requiem
gosh.
for a Dream is too good at what it does to the point where I won't watch it and I don't like it.
I'll
And
watch the beginning.
Everyone
And then I'll stop.
says to me, I'm just like, I don't like that movie. It's too much. They're all like, that's the point. And I'm like, I know it's the point.
But I don't have to
And
go through that.
Yeah, it's just,
Just
It
because you hate
is-
yourself doesn't mean I need to hate myself
yeah,
too.
it is the most depressing thing I've ever seen. Dude,
Well-
I like Aronofsky. I like
Yeah.
a lot of his movies. I'll take The Wrestler any day of the week, but Requiem for a Dream, that's a bridge too far for
Yeah,
me.
I do
can't
love.
do it.
I do love like how well it. I mean, I was obsessed with that movie in college,
That's the.
and
been
It's
a
great.
long
It's one
time.
of those college movies that
yeah, the
We had
way
to watch it in school.
Fight Club, American History X.
yeah, your
Fight Club's still
pyramid like Fight Club, Donnie Darko, American History X, and Requiem. There you go.
fucking hate Donnie Darko.
Yeah, so do I.
Can't
Can we,
do
is this podcast anti Donnie Darko? Can we just say unanimously?
You don't.
No.
Know, you don't get a point. I'm
Are
sorry.
you pro or against Donnie Darko? You're indifferent. That means you're against it.
What was the thing that we said that we were? Because you were very strongly, and neither of us cared.
We're a Rangers podcast.
Oh, you were a Rangers podcast. Yeah. We're a Rangers
But
podcast. We hate Donnie
that was
Darko.
the joke, and I realized after listening, it doesn't come through in the audio.
The Texas
Because-
Rangers?
No, the New York. Shut the fuck up. You pay these taxes. You know where it goes. To the garden. No, in real life, I was like, "Are you a Rangers fan?" And I had this big wide point. Are you a Rangers fan? And I was cheering and whooping. I will tell you a scene of a film that really disturbed me as a child.
Please do.
The Sixth Sense, when the girl kept vomiting.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
messed
Who
up.
was fucking what's her name from the OC?
Misha Barton?
Misha Barton. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I still don't know who that is.
Because I saw the band. I saw the band that did the theme song for that like 2 weeks
Phantom
ago.
Planet.
Phantom Planet. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite bands.
Phantom Planet with
Yeah, dude. Oh, they're so good.
Phantom Planet's with what's his name?
Alex Greenwald from Donnie Darko.
No, but
I was gonna say
the drummer from
He's not
Moonrise
in the
Kingdom.
band anymore.
Yeah,
so
but
they'll
but
probably get
still,
sad if we
but
plug
still, he's in Scott Pilgrim, so he gets
Jason
nerd points.
Schwartzman.
So fucking good. I love that
Yeah.
movie.
So we're all pro Scott Pilgrim. We're anti Donnie Darko. It's a great way to wrap up that part of the segment.
Yeah, I fucked it up. Sorry. I was gonna say I personally am not. I'm not anti Donnie Darko because I just saw it at that time in my life. Like I was probably 15, and it's just like growing up in the Midwest. It's like there aren't really thought-provoking movies like this. I recognize now that it sucks, but I actually always growing up had interesting thoughts about that movie. I thought Richard Kelly and Donnie Darko are so similar to George Lucas and Star Wars. Mm-hmm. It's like I see them both as filmmakers who so adamantly wanted to make very bad movies and couldn't afford to.
Oh man, that's really good.
But then, what does that say about the other trilogy? The rest of the trilogy.
The what that says is that thank God Irvin Kershner did Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Well, I will say,
If you ever saw any of that like original script, like you
No
don't want
good.
to.
yeah, but if you read a lot of scripts and you see a lot of movies, a great director can make a ridiculous script seem masterful. You know,
like Attack of the Clones.
I mean, look,
that's the first film I ever slept in the theater. I fell asleep in the theater. I woke up and his mom was dead, and I was like, "What happened?"
What happened?
I do
What
agree-
happened? Why do I care?
I do agree
don't.
that like movies can just kind of like dive away from a script. Like, look, have you ever read the iRobot script? I've just randomly read it one time.
Yeah, but what version?
Yeah.
iRobot had like 9 scripts.
Exactly. There was a version where the doctor never died and he was alive the whole time. He was the bad guy.
See, that's interesting because I didn't
Yeah, 'cause-
see that movie and I heard it was so bad, but that dude made a
I
movie
like
that
iRobot.
iRobot's pretty good.
It's a
Although
good-
the CG does not hold up.
But the dude made Dark City, and that's a great movie.
Love Dark City.
Can we talk about American Beauty? We talked about like
fucked up films.
Yeah, fucked up films. American Beauty, I feel like was that to me is a moment in my life where I was like, oh fuck, pop culture saying it how it really is. Not saying that it was authentic in any way, but growing up in the 90s, you always felt like television and media, similar to I Love Lucy, where, you know, Ricky and Lucy didn't sleep in the same bed. You go,
Right.
This is for TV. You know, TV is different than real life. TV's not like real life. You grow up in the suburbs, you know, it's not really as saccharine and clean and perfect as it is in the movies. American Beauty, to me, was the first film, maybe it was at the right age, where I was like, oh, fuck. People that are making content now are not settling for that fucking worldview.
Right. So unsettling in the sense that it was like eye-opening, like it gave you yet an epiphany watching.
Like you saw adultery, a midlife crisis. You saw lust for a young teenage girl. You
Yeah.
saw a virgin pretending to be slutty to circumnavigate her own insecurity. You saw two misfits that fell in love because they are just very, let's just say, alternative. You know, you saw a lot of different weird shit that all feels normal separately, but then you put it together in one movie, and it's a really, really stunning depiction of what it was like to be in the 90s, where you like have like this MTV generation, and you have like The View. What happens?
I just realized something. The premise of that, like a big part of that movie, is obviously Kevin Spacey lusting after a young person.
But he's not.
No, he's gay.
No, if you watch the movie, he's not.
Yes, he's
No.
obsessed with her. Like,
I thought you meant the boy. He's not gay. You saw American
the
Beauty,
girl.
right?
I'm joking.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not gay. Yeah.
Well, no,
what-
Kevin Spacey's gay as the day is long, but
Yeah, that's what he said to cover his ass.
it
No, he's
doesn't
gay.
matter what it is. The point I'm trying to make is that he's basically a pedophile, almost a pedophile in the movie, and ended up being a pedophile in real life.
no, he was.
I guess.
I mean, in the movie, he's a sweetheart. In the movie, he's better than real life Kevin Spacey because she tells him
he doesn't.
she tells him she's a virgin, even though she's 17, and he just puts his coat on her because he's a sweet man.
I saw the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is that it's
Remember-
some uncomfortable parallel.
movie also
He
told-
was acting, and now you know he's a great actor.
Well, have you guys ever seen
Too
L.A.
old.
Confidential?
Oh
No.
yeah, LA
That's a
Confidential's
great. Yeah, you know what? Fucking, you're our new fourth host, all right? L.A. Confidential is a great film, and the funny thing is, Kevin Spacey plays a straight man in that movie. Really difficult to do for him.
Dude, well, I mean,
that whole thing.
He's played straight guys in a lot of movies.
K-Pax.
Yeah.
Horrible Bosses.
But
Lex
dude, LA
Luthor.
Confidential's so good. That's
What?
where like Guy Guy Pearce and
dude,
Russell Crowe.
Guy Pearce
Oh my
and Russell
God.
Crowe.
Dude,
Yeah.
the ending of that movie is just like bananas.
And the cinematography with the light leaks through the bullet holes.
Dude,
the
my
bullet holes
God.
light the scene with moonlight. It's crazy.
A movie we didn't talk about though was Reefer Madness.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen that.
No.
Yeah. Well, those are so there are.
Have you seen that?
I saw it.
Wow.
There are
man.
pros and
See,
cons
that's
of
it.
making
It
lists off the
turned you
internet.
bad.
Right. Yeah. So going back to the topic, there are certain movies that are about these freak out kind of things. Reefer Madness would be the best example. My favorite one though is definitely what is it? Mazes and Monsters. Mazes and Monsters.
I don't even know if I've
Oh, what is
heard
that?
of this.
You never Tom Hanks' first movie.
Tell us about it.
Tom Hanks in this movie is a guy who plays a game that's basically Dungeons and Dragons and loses his mind and commits suicide. I know it sounds really great, but it was like one of these movies that got the fervor of Dungeons and Dragons
It's like
freaking out.
a movie that was like anti something.
Yes.
Like it had an
like
agenda.
Reefer Madness.
Or
was
like
the same
Attack
kind
of the
thing.
60-foot woman. Because women are terrifying.
Oh, right. Yeah. No, that is like kind of like the modern, critique of
Or
those
like,
Attack of the
you have
60s
it
woman.
now with like Black Hat and other movies where it's like hackers are the devil. It's like, yeah, we know.
I didn't see Black Cat. Which was Black Cat?
Black Hat's the one where the preposterous notion is that Chris Hemsworth knows what to do with a computer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the real CGI. Is that Chris Hemsworth knows how to
holy
use a
shit.
computer. Because Chris Hemsworth, I just imagine just like pokes his computer a lot and then calls his assistant Becky over to fix it. He's not a world renowned hacker.
Is this before he got
Becky?
muscular?
Why did they call it Becky?
I just picked a random
Is
white
this
girl
movie
name.
before he did Marvel?
No,
No, he
wow.
was. It was German.
this is between Thor 2 and 3.
Oh wow!
So if I give you a little timeline, little Thor timeline,
Just proves my point
in case
more
you
and
study
more.
your mythology,
Proves my point more and more.
which is what
That it's not about the actors, it's about the people around them that make them good.
the movie wasn't good.
Did he do good?
Let me ask you a question. What level of acting would Chris Hemsworth need to do? Christopher Hemmingsworth need to do to make you think he knows how to use a computer? Because I'll tell you what, he was a captain on the fucking Starfleet, father of James Tiberius Kirk, and I still never saw him use a fucking computer.
Well, those machines.
Well, he
on the-
talked to the computer.
Yeah, they
No,
run on like
he talked to someone else who used the computer.
No.
No, he talks to the computer
No.
when he does the autopilot into the thing.
Yeah, those things run on Linux or something, so it's different.
Well, I mean, he'd probably have to do about the same caliber that Denise Richards did to play a nuclear physicist.
Holy shit!
what
that's
movie?
a good
What movie?
call. That
The
was
world is
James
not
Bond,
enough.
The world's not enough. Yeah. Oh man.
And also same with being like a futuristic pilot and
Do you remember what her name was?
Great
in
video
that?
game though. Zenyatta.
Dr. Christmas.
Floating Christmas, yeah. And then he makes the line, and I sort of fucking got it. He makes the line, and he goes, Christmas came early, when they're having sex at the end of the movie. Isn't that so fucking good? By good, I mean terrible.
That was an amazing N64 game too. The world is not enough.
Oh, really? I didn't play that one.
Yeah, because after GoldenEye, every Bond movie needed to have at least 2 video game tie-ins.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit. Well, what about, did you see one of the most unsettling movies I've ever seen? And I think there's an argument for this movie being one of the greatest movies in the history of cinema,
Ooh. Huh.
The Act of Killing.
No, I didn't see it.
Nope.
Holy shit, what? None of you guys have seen this movie?
Have you ever seen Of Mice and Men with Gary Sinise?
Yes.
That's an unsettling movie.
Yeah.
Is it 'cause
Hold
it's
on.
really bad?
You've never seen The Act of Killing? It's
No.
a doc, and it's that powerful.
Documentaries I find are more powerful than regular films.
This isn't like powerful because it's like some Roger Deakins stuff. And I think if you guys have a homework assignment, it's watch that movie, because that movie, it's like Zodiac is my favorite movie this millennium, but I think The Act of Killing may be the most important movie of this millennium.
Wow. Okay. That's a huge...
You watch that
recommendation.
movie and tell me that the dude that made that doesn't have the biggest balls of anyone you've ever seen. There's even a sequel to it called The Look of Silence.
Have you ever seen the HBO documentary called Tickled? Because that guy's got some big balls too.
No, what is this?
Oh, man.
So good.
You know what The Act of Killing is.
No.
No.
It's like
You're the
about-
host. You tell us.
Is it,
yeah.
Is it literal?
It's about genocide in Indonesia.
Jesus.
And it led to like actual cultural change in Indonesia.
Oh wow.
Like they covered up this mass genocide that they ended up like admitting to and having to add to their history books because of this movie.
Oh man. And this is when? When was this released?
2013?
Jeez,
Oh, God.
that's terrifying.
He's gonna be suicided next week.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
2013, I think you're.
Are we gonna get a documentary on the pedophile that died? What's his face?
Who?
Oh yeah, the fucking
Well,
The billionaire.
I can tell you
Wait, no, I didn't know what fucking. I only have so many pedophile baseball cards. Which one is it?
Wait, what?
The one who died in jail,
Jeffrey Epstein,
who died on his private plane to the private island that he
yeah.
left.
Yeah.
No,
who got garroted
all right.
by himself in a.
So we've talked a lot about
Jesus, yeah.
unsettling, disturbing movies that cause moral panic, but there's a new movie coming out soon by Clint Eastwood that has been kind of controversial.
oh God.
oh yeah.
Richard. Is it Richard Jenkins or something?
The one where he like puts the bomb under the thing. And
Yeah, but he's fat, so he didn't do it. He's fat and he's ugly, so he's innocent.
Okay.
What?
Someone catch me
What
up
the
here. I
fuck
feel like
is
I'm a little
happening?
left
You
out.
didn't see the trailer? Go
Nah.
ahead, do your homework. Go see The Killing. It's about Indonesia.
And then the act of killing and the look of silence.
No, so this new Clint Eastwood movie is like about a person who calls in that there's a bomb here, and they suspect that he actually put the bomb there himself and called it in to be the hero.
Ah.
So it's a big like thing.
Like the balloon boy thing,
yeah.
but with a bomb instead of a balloon.
Yeah.
So that's coming out. It's a new moral conundrum
It's
movie.
based on a real story.
How does he have another movie already?
He's 90.
After The Mule. Like,
he's-
how is this dude making this many movies?
He's 90, and he had a threesome in that movie.
Yeah, he had 2 threesomes in that movie.
Have you seen his children?
What?
Dude's genetics look awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Everyone- everyone-
racism really makes him good for some good babies.
Racism?
Yeah, Clint Eastwood's a
Have
very
you seen The
historically
Mule?
racist.
What?
He's very racist.
He's
He
one
made
of
a
my
movie about racism.
Yeah, but the race he's tolerant of.
Okay.
Him and John Wayne are like two of the most classic American racists.
Oh no, a 90-year-old man is racist. Oh my god.
Oh, someone get the violin.
worth
Sit
men-
down, Grandpa. Trying to make another movie while you sit there.
worth mentioning that Jimmy Carter was building those houses this week after having a black eye, and he's 94.
Yep.
Oh, once you
Yeah,
hit,
but I'll
once
be
you-
honest, Clint
once you
Eastwood
hit-
wears that 90 a lot better than Carter wears that 94.
100%.
Once you hit 93, racism just kind of stops.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to be honest. If I make
It
it,
comes and it goes.
If
Yeah,
I
Jimmy, he's in the
What
on the
I
good
always
side.
heard,
Jimmy
yeah.
Carter,
Guys,
he's on his good side.
it's, you heard it here first. If I make it to 82, I'm saying whatever the fuck I want.
No, we're a Rangers podcast. We're a Rangers podcast and a anti Donnie Darko.
St. Louis Cardinals.
We're anti a movie came out 20 years
Now,
ago. How many years ago?
I do
At least.
think the director's cut of Donnie Darko is much worse than the theatrical.
I think that the director's cut of Daredevil is better than the original.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, everyone keeps telling me that they want to see the Snyder cut of that one.
It doesn't
fucking movie
exist. He
'cause-
didn't finish the movie.
Yeah.
Do you know why I put in Avengers Infinity War on
Why?
here?
No, tell me.
Because everyone
Because
thought we
it-
were going to get snapped.
It really upset my mom when everybody disappeared.
No, dude, imagine those movies. I was actually thinking about that because that was one of my things, like one of my criteria for unsettling movies, because it's like you have this series that has been built up over 17 previous movies, but the thing was
21.
Well, at the time of Infinity War, not Endgame, Infinity War.
Infinity War was 19?
Okay.
Either way,
There's
it's,
only
not,
two
it's,
more
a,
movies
it's a
in between.
large number of movies.
It's a large number of
Sorry,
movies.
I'm sorry.
According
you're so right.
to Scorsese,
Not cinema.
movies,
not
actually.
movies.
Not
cinema.
Yeah.
But so the thing was, it's like
Another 90-year-old.
you kind of take it for granted the fact that like you know that this franchise started based on one movie, Iron Man, that was successful, but like Iron Man was great when it came out, but little did you know they had the rest of this phase kind of mapped out. Then they have a second phase, but it's like they announce it beforehand, so you already know what's coming out. They have this third phase of movies, so it's like there's a comfortability in knowing what's coming. And you know that in all of these movies, they're all going to be in the Avengers movies, so you know they're not going to die. But Avengers Infinity War was the first movie of that series where you would like there's unsettlingness in that movie just based on the fact that it is largely from the villain's point of view and you legitimately don't know what's coming afterwards.
I have a great story about that.
I have a super funny story about that.
I wanted to comment on what you said first and say that I never really thought about it as being primarily from the villain's point of view, but it really
Absolutely is. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
the Russo brothers say that that's Thanos' movie.
The last shot is of Thanos. It's him in
Right.
the farm.
Yeah.
And the first shot is of Thanos taking over Thor's helicarrier. So I mean not helicarrier,
Right.
but ship. So it's argued that
Wait,
the movie
he might be the first person you see in that movie also.
No, you first
see, like, the back of
you
him?
see like the Tesseract. I think no, you don't see the Tesseract.
No, you see the ship, right?
the ship getting destroyed in the
Right, but
distress
then-
call.
But actual
then you go
character.
Oh yeah,
inside-
he says I am. Yeah, he says but it's here.
You see him walk.
Yeah.
No, the first shot you see is Ebony Maw walking over people.
Yeah. But you will. But the thing is that scene is not just a heist of the ship. The scene is him taking heist of the universe, of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the interesting thing is people always forget Iron Man and Hulk were in production at the same time. Thor and Captain America were in pre-production at the same time. When Iron Man 1 came out, yeah, it needed to do well. Otherwise, the other ones wouldn't have got finished. But there was a bullet in the gun. They just didn't pull the trigger yet. Like
Yeah,
they were,
yeah, for
they were
sure.
they were working on the shit. They were casting the shit. They were getting studios booked. They were they're doing all the clerical work.
They're doing everything that DC wasn't doing.
Yeah.
When they realized what was happening around the time Avengers came out.
Yeah, but I'm saying before Iron Man 1 even released, they had one other film in the can, and they had two other films that were in pre-production, casted in some length, and you had studios booked, you had locations scouted, you had directors cast. It was a very real thing. They did do Iron Man 2 to buy themselves some time because they weren't ready with Thor and Captain America yet, but they had it set up. But the one thing I will say that I think is really interesting is that when we were in the theater, I think Max bought these tickets. We went to go see it in the IMAX.
Max.
No, we have
We have a tradition.
You're clearly in the group now for the
It's
going
a
to the
tradition.
Marvel movies in the IMAX. But we buy like 10 tickets and everybody goes.
So we always go to see the Marvel movies on opening weekend at the IMAX, and we go and get a couple of drinks. And I remember, I think it was our second time. We saw Infinity War twice in a row. We saw it on a Friday and a Saturday, or a Thursday and a Friday. And I remember one time we went to. Is this the same story you were going to tell?
My story's much shorter but funny.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's so
I wanna hear it.
I
want to hear it.
warms
So-
it warms my heart every
When
time.
when all the characters started disappearing, mind you, Black Panther had just come out that February, and it was now May. Black Panther disappears, and you hear this loud, obviously black woman go,
That's
We
my
just
story.
got him.
That's my story.
Yeah, she literally yells. She literally yells to the screen. She goes, "What? We just got him!" And I thought that was one of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, it's funny too. I mean, not having to do with that story, but like, I mean, when you watch that movie though, it's like you kind of wish that somebody like Black Panther, who just came out in a movie right before that, would factor more into the story. But it's just like,
So many
Yeah, but
people in there.
he did get the great entrance in the second one where he's the guy that comes through.
oh yeah,
Like
Yeah.
even though Falcon comes through on the radio, like Black Panther comes through with his army.
Right.
Like with an
Yeah.
army. Like he comes with a nation.
But the thing
Like,
is,
he
like-
doesn't come with a ship of people. He comes with a
Yeah,
nation
think of
of
what you're
people.
saying though. He comes with his army.
Right.
He's such a large character.
He's a king.
He has a huge future in this universe.
Yeah.
The reason they did it the way they did it is because Black Panther has a large future in this universe. Captain America and Iron Man do not.
Yeah.
That's why they
They have a legacy. They don't have a future.
So, but no, but specifically in this one, this was, you're right, just after Black Panther had just come out, and they did the same thing with Captain Marvel, where everyone was saying, well, why didn't Captain Marvel have a larger role in Endgame?
He would have
And then-
overshadowed it.
But also the fact is that they had filmed Endgame, her scenes, before they had filmed
Right.
Captain Marvel.
The-
So
the-
they didn't know what the audience was going to think of this character yet. So it was a bit of a gamble. And I think, like, in retrospect, both of those characters, they may have wanted to bring out more, but they weren't going to do that ahead of time.
The plan for the ensemble movie is a little bit of a contingency. They're in the movie because they're in the universe,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not 100% sure about how they're going to be received.
Right, yeah.
Well, they're really smart about hedging their bets. So are we done with conflicting movies?
I think we did it.
Yeah.
We never talked about Hereditary.
Oh my god, that movie's so fucking good.
Have you
And
seen
talk about a
Hereditary,
movie
Lex?
No, but I saw that one clip. I saw Toni Collette freak out on YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, because
I don't do horror really.
It's
It's not even horror.
Well,
Here's
the thing.
a weird word for that.
This is how I've always described that movie. So we've been lucky as a person who really likes horror movies. Like one of my favorite franchises is Friday the 13th, and there's like
Same.
maybe not even a good movie in that franchise. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know why I like this, but
Jason
I do.
Takes Manhattan. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
incredible.
It's
Jason
fucking great.
X. Fuck yeah.
Like technically, my least favorite one as a child, number 6, is probably actually the best one. The one that ended up like going on to influence like meta horror movies, and it ended up like being almost repurposed into a movie like Scream, where you can kind of be like tongue in cheek about horror. But so there's been some great movies in like the past 10 years, like It Follows.
Thank you.
That movie is really great.
And then there's
Follows
another
is
one
good.
that I kind of feel like it bends a genre a little bit, because if someone were to say, well, it's a horror movie, right? And I'd be like, yes, but it's different. It's different in ways that I
Yeah,
can't
it-
really
Turns it on its
describe.
head there, Mason.
There's a stigma associated to being a horror movie, but It Follows is a great horror movie.
Yeah.
The Babadook is a great horror movie. Hereditary is something else.
Yeah, it really is. It is.
Hereditary is technically a horror movie, but when I think of a horror movie, I think of something scary, grotesque, maybe some jump scares. Hereditary is the type of horror that is just like so absolutely soul crushing that you just don't even,
So why would I want to watch this?
because it's
experience.
incredible filmmaking.
It's the same reason why you go on a roller coaster.
Nah, I
they
know.
fucking go there.
So is that the show?
Hereditary.
No, Bringing Hereditary
Yeah.
in there,
That's
and then
so
It Follows.
good,
It's so
dude.
fucking good.
Thank you
But,
for letting us finally drink Old Fashions.
Yeah.
We've been
Andrew.
holding them for you for a long time.
Thank you.
I might have another one.
I appreciate it.
Andrew, thank
I'm
you
making a
s-
rum Old Fashioned.
Ooh, yeah. it's
Andrew,
great.
thank you so much for coming over.
Thank
man.
you
Dude,
for joining
thanks
the
for
pod.
inviting
Yeah,
me,
this
dude.
has been great.
This was awesome.
You're quickly becoming one of my best friends in this city.
yeah. Well, we live on the other side of the park.
I know we
so-
live really close together.
There you go. You're a Brooklyn boy?
He lives close too. All right, everybody. We
Mega
are.
steak night.
This is. Oh, Snake Night was good. I'm gonna buy more steaks this time.
Yep, I'll come.
As always, we are the Recipe Boys. Find us on Twitter, Instagram.
BOYZ.
Yeah, the Recipe Boys. Boys being spelled BOYZ. And we'll catch you on the next episode. We will be talking about horror in the next episode, so that's really exciting.
Yes, continuing the
wow.
spooky themes
Extra
of October.
spook.
Yeah.
It will be
Extra spook.
It's October or whatever, stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Ooh.
we're going for it.
We're scared of the drink of next week. We're scared of next week's drink.
Dude, next week's going to be crazy. Anyways, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers to you for listening.
Now make yourself a drink, and cheers to you for listening.
Oh, God, that sounds good.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
It makes me want to almost have a drink.
Hey, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, peace, guys.